Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. Okay. As I say, you got to kind of look around at what's going on and how to put stuff together and present the right image data in your own head for where you want to go. This is why a lot of religions like to start out by telling you you're damned at birth. Okay, you couldn't start out more wrong than if you weren't born at all. Right. Like I said, how did they end up being correct if they were bad people in the first place? So you clean all that up. You get the right image. You start thinking the right logics of where you want to go. You start thinking about the idea that you want to correctly image what you need, what you want to do, where you're going to go, what you put together, whether it's a lover or a car or a house or a job or a toy or anything at all. Okay? You always image this stuff. You always do it in your head to begin with. The only place that I know that you don't do that is with modern United States advertising, where you are given bang, 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 snap decision. It's either A, Coke, or B, Pepsi. Forget RC. Forget John Doe's, sarsaparilla. We don't want you to think about all that stuff. There's only 2 flavors in the world. Excuse me? Yeah. But that's what they want you to do. It's A or B. Okay? They don't want you to think about C. And if you go and study marketing, yes, they definitely try and limit you. There's a variety of places you will find that happening. For instance, I do graphic design. I have known for 28 years of doing graphic design that I don't dare show you my whole long list of fonts, because it will take about 2 or 3 weeks for you to go through and figure out exactly what fonts you would want to deal with. So I will limit what you have access to, what you are shown, just to help you make a decision. I currently have, I think, something like 4,000 fonts, okay? And, so I don't even have enough fingers on one hand to tell you the flavors. There's script, there's calligraphy, there's sans serif, there's serif, there's black, there's there's grunge. I mean, there's so much stuff now. It's amusing. It's very wonderful because it's computer generated. You can make this stuff. It works very well. It beats the snot out of what we had when I was first walked into a print shop and they walked me over to a drawer full of little individual lead type. It was what Gutenberg created, and I started learning how to do that stuff. Learned how to run a linotype machine that, again, you had to stop and take this whole big, 50-pound device off of the machine to change a single font. Okay, whether you wanted a thin or a bold or a black, you had to change a 50-pound chunk of keys. Okay. So yes, there are reasons that you want to limit how much input you have, but when you're creating a miracle, like I said, the last thing you want to do is create a limit on how that miracle is achieved. Okay? The reason being is because you are asking the spiritual realm, the gods, to give you an answer. Why would you want to limit a god? Why would you want to sit there and tell a God that you can only have this miracle if it comes in a gilded golden pumpkin carriage with white horses? Yeah. But that is what most all religions do. Whether you want to look at the religion side of the native aborigines of any continent, the North American Native Americans, the South American Native in the Amazon, or the Himalayans, or the Andes, or whatever, wherever you want to go. Once they create a religion, they start telling you that you must perform certain ceremony. And those certain ceremonies must be overseen by certain priests. It's all dinero to them. Okay. When you go to the spiritual realm itself, it's a different thing. You don't want to limit what a God can do, because the God is going to have the ability to look at all the possibilities. And this is one of the places where gods and I get into arguments, because I have to walk the planet and deal with humans as they actually exist. And the gods on the spiritual realm, with the understanding that you have free will, they can see the potentiality that you exhibit, the energy of which you can be, but they will project on the idea that, oh, you have the potential of being a good person. You're going to be a good person. And I have the ability to walk in societies and realize that no, we honor corruption, we honor liars, we honor thieves, we honor disrespectable bullies. In that same reflection, okay, the idea of saving the world, okay. The world, like I said, you are in a shitload of trouble right now, folks. Fukushima is almost, is 6.5, almost 7 years old. It has not been contained, and it is beyond any human intervention at this point in time. You cannot contain it. You have no ability to contain it. None. You don't have anything that you can do to correct the dirt and filth and damage being done by just that one incident alone. When you stop and realize that chemical pollution, medical pollution, changes in alkalinity and acidity of liquids like your oceans and your lakes and streams, temperature changes, and radiation all cause mutation in life forms, be it human life forms, birds, animals, plants, viruses and bacteria. It's all there. How are you going to clean up all of your oceans full of radiation? How are you going to go and remove those 500,000 to over 1 million 55-gallon barrels of radioactive waste that every country on the planet that has a nuclear power plant has been throwing into the oceans in the deepest, coldest trenches? If you use nuclear power to boil water, folks, what do you think that nuclear waste is doing in those deep, cold trenches? Yeah. It's heating it up. The NOAA scientist that I asked, hey, anybody paying attention to this? It took her a couple of weeks to answer back that actually, yes, Peter, somebody is looking into that, and we don't know what to do. We don't know how to calculate what to figure on. I have no problem. I have the entire energy pattern of the planet to look at, and I have the entire spiritual realm to talk to me about the fact that, yeah, some of those barrels have been down there some 80 plus years, and in the late 1990s to the early 2000s, remote operated vehicles, submersible vehicles were being sent down, and about 90 to 95% of all of those barrels are now leaking into your oceans, which means not only are you dumping Fukushima radiation into your entire ocean system, but your entire ocean system is being polluted with radiation at the very core. And then you take into fact that you have all the oil spills that have been going on that have created all kinds of problems. You have the practice of taking barges of garbage out into the middles of the oceans and just dumping it. You have plastic all over the place. You have all kinds of chemicals all over the place. You have all of this massive problem. So what do you have? Let's save the whales. Let's save the walruses. Let's save the penguins. Let's save the polar bears. Let's save the iguana. Let's umpteen million different groups all wanting to save one thing or one little group. What would happen if all those groups got together and worked together 30 years ago? Yeah, it had made a big difference. So you see the problem with the imaging. You have been told that you cannot work together. You have been told that you cannot cooperate. You have been told that you must not try and fight the system. And then, yeah, you run around and you just plain don't do it. You argue with yourselves that I have to be in control or they have to be in control. You don't think about the fact that your whole entire planet, your whole entire ecosystem is jeopardized. So that's why I say, when you want to get down to the reality of what all of this is, what all is necessary to create a correct image, you are fighting one heck of a lot of modern society, that absolute A, that everybody likes to tell lies. You're born and raised to tell lies. I mean, stop and consider, folks. You're born to die. You have no way of preventing you from dying. Nonetheless, you will spend your entire life running around afraid that you might die. I'm going to die. I know that. I was 2 years old when I knew I'd die. I'm 59 years old and I can't wait to die at this point. I'm tired of this planet, okay? I am so tired of seeing the arrogance on this planet of human beings. I am so tired of seeing whales and mosquitoes and birds and beautiful places of this planet destroyed because humans think that their cement and steel and churches are more beautiful and more great than anything a God could make. So yeah, I'm disgusted with being here. As Kurt Cobain says, humans are so stupid, I'm ashamed to be a human being. Okay? So, when you decide to change the data set to B and you start wanting to work on correct imaging, then you can do something. And then maybe you all get together and you'll actually realize, wow, this guy's telling us that, if we all kind of work together, there may only be a 3% of the population doing this, but we could actually all focus together and make a miracle for ourselves and clean up our planet. We could do what the Aborigines in Australia with their 35,000 years of history have been telling us about how the dreamland opens up and we can step through to a better reality. For the Native Americans, spiritual walkers of North America, which includes Mexico. Mexicans are Americans too, folks. South Americans are Americans too. Yes, you United States people are very arrogant. You might want to classify yourself as the only Americans, but reality, from somewhere around the Arctic Circle to somewhere just shy of, Tierra de Fuego, land of fire, the southern end of Chile, Argentina, okay, that's all America. They're all Americans. So if you stop wanting to divide yourselves, you go, oh wow, like we're all one? Ooh, wow. But yeah, all of those spiritual people that walked here thousands of years ago knew about what's happening now. The Christians and the Catholics have walked all over the planet and killed everything. Their brethren, the Jews, and the Muslims, of course, have been in league with this, but you all tell the world that we can't work together. You all tell the world that we're better than those others, so don't you dare work with those others. And you now have divide and conquer throughout the entire planet, and you have conquered yourself. Literally. You are all very quickly going to end up in a grave because you just simply don't like working with one another. And you think people like me that sit there and point this truth out to you should be shot, killed, silenced, done away with because somehow talking the truth is terribly horrible. So yeah.